Very good morning. Welcome to Current Affairs. Let's begin the session and we'll discuss a few points. And the first point to begin with is regarding Professor Yashpal. His full name is Yashpal Singh, and one of the very prominent scientists of India. And he died on July 24th at the age of 90. So one of the very fantastic persons, in fact. And India lost another eminent personality, and we pray to the God, let his soul be rest in peace. So with respect to Professor Yashpal, his contributions to the space applications were enormous. In fact, he was the first director of Space Application Center that is located in Ahmedabad. So it was set up in the year 1973, and this great person was appointed as the first director of a Space Application Center. And of course, later he also served as a chairman for UGC. And he suggested many things to the government with respect to the education. And he had so much of concern with respect to the weightage of the school bag. So look at the kids who are going to the schools, look at their age, look at their weight, and also look at the weightage of the school bag. So is it really necessary to carry so many books to the school every day? Obviously, the answer should be yes. Answer should be yes, according to teachers. But people like Professor Yashpal, they said no, that is not necessary. Otherwise, what is happening even today? Unfortunately, even today also, most of the school managements are saying yes to carry lots of books to the school every day. But what is the necessity? This is very important. Look at the age of the children, and once they are getting down from their vehicle or from this bus, or whatever the transportation facility, so from gate till the classroom they need to walk a long distance, and they are carrying lots of weightage. And Professor Yashpal, he was the person who was very seriously concerned about this one. And he was completely against the idea of the management of the school with respect to carrying so many books. Right? So he said that the education must be made very interesting. The education must be made very interesting, and that is possible only when you create such atmosphere where the children will be loving to learn. And unfortunately, even today also, that a type of education system is not present. Otherwise, so many corporate schools are present in India. And Professor Yashpal, he was against the privatization of the education. So today the education is being given by so many private institutions, but Yashpal was a person who suggested that government has to give the quality education. But unfortunately, though the governments have tried to implement certain suggestions, they were not completely successful. So this is the time that we need to remember the achievements made by Professor Yashpal, especially with respect to the suggestions that were given by him regarding education and weightage of the school bags. That should be as less as possible, so that you will be allowing the children so to carry the bags with the less weight, so that there will not be any physical burden on them, and they'll be concentrating better in the classrooms. Otherwise, so they develop, already so many children are developing various issues, like this a back pain. What is their age and why should they suffer like this? Is it their mistake? Right? It is not the mistake of the children, it is a mistake of the management of the schools. Otherwise, some of the states in India recently, in the recent past, they have given directions to various schools regarding the size of the school bag and the weightage of the school bag. Right? So the weightage should not be more than a particular limit, so that it becomes easy for the children to carry them to the school. So, but how far it will be implemented, that is important. That is the reason why every time I say that the policies that are being made in India, maybe at the state level or at the central level, policies are good, there is no doubt. But when it comes to the implementation, absolutely there was a failure on the part of the implementation. and we need to blame the government itself. We need to blame the government itself, and the government will try to create awareness among the people. If you have any problem, give a complaint, right? So give a phone call to toll free number, they'll get, right? So if you give that any call to that number, nobody is there to lift, and there is no proper response, and citizens will get frustrated and will forget about this. But otherwise, if the government is really committed to do something, government can do its best, right? And of course, so with respect to educational reforms, what are all the suggestions that were given by Professor Yashpal? So they should be implemented. Fine. And India is missing another great personality. And I'll show you the document regarding Professor Yashpal, and then so we'll be moving ahead. Kindly see here, maybe some of you are not aware of Professor Yashpal. So, but these are the time, at least, you know, on his occasion of his death, in fact. So at least, you know, we should try to know the contributions made by such great people. So, and that will become a motivation. That will become a motivation for all of us, in fact, right? And it is a requirement of the nation, and it is a responsibility as a citizens of the nation to carry such ideas forward. So we are really grateful to those eminent personalities, right? I think yesterday only we were discussing about Professor U.R. Rao, and now this is Professor Yashpal. Look at this. Eminent scientist Professor Yashpal, noted for his contribution to the study of cosmic rays as well as for being an institutional builder, he died. He took birth on November 26th, 1926. He took birth in a place which is in Pakistan today, right? And he died during the night hours of July 24th, 2017. And this eminent personality started his career in TIFR, which stands for Tata Institute for Fundamental Research. And he also served as the chairman of UGC. He was awarded Padma Vibhushan in the year 2013. Please make a note of this. As we all know, Padma Vibhushan is the second highest civilian honor in India. Second highest civilian honor in India, and first being the Bharat Ratna. Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian honor, and the second highest is Padma Vibhushan, and this great person was awarded with Padma Vibhushan in the year 2013. And also make a note of this, he was also the first director of Space Application Center, and it is located in Ahmedabad. Right now, so this is about Professor Yashpal. India will be missing you, sir. Look at this. So I have a question here. Have a look at this. Which of the following states' population is non-veg the highest in the country? Right, you know, there was a it may be a question. That is the reason why I am giving you this question. So there was a survey conducted very recently. People are vegetarian and non-vegetarian, as you all know, right? But in which state most of the people will eat will take a non-vegetarian? Right, the survey was conducted with respect to vegetarian and a non-vegetarian. And I have this latest information. I'm just giving it to you, and I'm going to show you two questions which are related to where the highest population will take non-veg, and in which state highest population will take veg, right? And when the survey was conducted, you know, majority of the people in Telangana state, so they are non-vegetarian, right? And excuse me, majority of the people in the Rajasthan are vegetarian. Okay, so we have this information, and just remember this information. You know, sometimes, you know, some peculiar questions are asked in the examination, so you should be ready for that. Clear? And I told you already, answering all the questions is not possible in any examination. But let's give a serious attempt where we can attempt almost all the questions correctly. Clear? If not all, almost all the questions correctly. Right? So I'll show you the questions. Just remember this. Look at this. Which of the following states' population is non-veg, the highest in the country? UP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, or Telangana? I told you just now. Answer is option D, that is Telangana. 98.7% of the people take, this non-veg. Next. Which of the following states' population is vegetarian, the highest in the country? Right? And I told you already, answer is option C, that is Rajasthan. Look at this, 74.9%. You need not remember the percentages, but remember the state. Next. Look at this. Kaziranga National Park. As we all know, this is UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it contains largest population of one-horned rhinoceros in the world, and it is located in the state of right. So I'm very sure every one of you knows, know the answer for this question, and the answer is Assam. So, but the point is that, so whenever we say something about one-horned rhinoceros, obviously, Kaziranga Park, will come to our mind, and obviously that is there in Assam. We know all these things. And remember, highest population of this one-horned rhinoceros is present in Kaziranga, and I am talking about the world. So, but the issue with this Kaziranga Park is that Assam is one of the states in India, so which is very badly affected by the floods every year, especially with respect to this Brahmaputra river floods. So that will inundate this a majority of the parts of Assam. This Kaziranga National Park also. So during this time, what happens? The animals will die. So it is the responsibility of the government and also the nation, so to protect and preserve these rare species. So we need to protect them. And of course, the governments are taking very serious measures. That's a different thing. But in the recent floods, also 60 people have died. Right? I'm talking about the people. 60 people have died, and 70 animals they have been drowned. For this reason, what's happening in Kaziranga Park? Artificial islands are being built. So that what will happen, what is the island, right? So this is the land surrounded by the waters. So whenever there is so much of flood, at least the island will be there, and the animals will be taking shelter over the islands till the floods will recede. Right? Of course, the process is on. Some of the islands have been constructed, but that is not sufficient. So that is not sufficient. So that is the reason why. So we expect the government to do more on this Kaziranga National Park. Okay, so because of that information, I have shown you this, and whenever something is there in the news, that may be a question in the examination, and you have to be ready with that. Okay. And not just this, please, because Kaziranga is there in the news, I am speaking about that. But whenever any national park is there in the news, kindly make a note of this. What is the name of that, and in which state it is located, and when it has been started. Right? And if it is there in the news, why it isn't there in the news? That's also important for the examination. Now, look at this. Right? So you looked at the question already. A UNESCO World Heritage Site that contains the largest population of one-horned rhinoceros in the world is located in the state of Assam. Okay? Right, look at this. Look at this. In the recent floods, 60 people have died, thousands of people have been displaced, and 70 animals have been drowned. Look at this. So the following year is the target year for housing for all. So this is a very, very popular scheme that was launched by the current government. Hopefully you remember this. I was speaking about the same concept some time back, maybe 5 to 6 months back. And the possible question, any examination may be, what is the targeted year? Answer is option D, that is 2022. All right, so but why I'm discussing this with you? Because very recently what happened, the Supreme Court of India has imposed a fine of 50,000 rupees on Ministry of Environment. Very recently, Supreme Court of India has imposed 50,000 rupees fine on Ministry of Environment. Why? What is the link between this housing for all plus, this imposing fine on Ministry of Environment? So what is the link between among all these things? So this is because, if you look at, any project in India, so lots of pollution is coming out, and that is also degrading so our environment. Environmental pollution is happening, I know, and the people who are living over there, they are suffering because of the various reasons of the environmental pollution. So, but what about this housing, first of all? If you look at housing, lots of dust and lots of, this other material, so they will be coming out during this construction time. And obviously what happens, that is also leading to the environmental degradation. But I'm not talking about the small households. Whether it is small household or large household, depending on the size, the amount of the dust will be released. Is it not harming the environment? That is the reason why you need to take certain measures out of this. Number one. Plus, number two, if you look at the year 2015, hopefully you remember, and this is still fresh in our minds. Chennai was affected very badly with the floods. What is the reason? The reason, not just in Chennai, but in all the major cities in the country. So today the problem of the floods is coming. I am talking about the urban areas and the metropolitan areas. So this is because, the drainages are being occupied and the places where you have the water resources, they have been occupied, and the constructions are being made over that. And most of the governments, instead of punishing those people, you are just penalizing them. And you are taking some money in the form of the penalty, and you are permitting them to continue. So this is a very, very wrong method with respect to the environment in a long run is concerned, right? So otherwise what happens? So if the drainage system has been occupied, if water storage, like, tanks, large tanks will be there, if they are occupied, right, so where the water will be going? So because there is no way to the water to move, obviously that will be moving within the city, and the city will be flooded. It will be flooded like anything. So these are all the problems. That is the reason why Supreme Court of India asked the Ministry of Environment to identify all the wetlands that are present in the country, and notify them. So that what will happen, you are not going to touch these wetlands, right? So wetlands are those places which are marshy in nature, and lots of water resources are available. And some construction companies, what they are doing, so they are occupying those wetlands and they are constructing the buildings over there. Are you not affecting the hydrological cycle in India? Answer is absolutely yes. So you are affecting the hydrological cycle in the and beneath the earth, and that is also leading to, a sort of pollution. So the water resources are getting degraded, water table is coming down. That is the reason why Supreme Court wanted Environment Ministry to be very serious on this, identify and re-notify all these wetlands in the country, and so that they should not be touched in future. But unfortunately, Environment Ministry could not notify on the date that was decided by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court got angry and it imposed a fine of 50,000 rupees on the Ministry of Environment. Hope you are getting this. Meaning is simple. You are expected to follow the directions given by the apex court in India. If you don't follow, obviously you will also be penalized. whether you are a government or something. That is the reason why if from Supreme Court will give directions to some states, those directions must be implemented by the state. But who is the in charge of the state? It is the chief secretary. The chief secretary of the state is in charge, and it is his responsibility to implement the directions. If the directions are not implemented, Supreme Court will summon the chief secretary to appear before the Supreme Court. Right? Meaning is simple. It is shame on the part of the government for not following the directions. It is shame on the part of the government that the chief secretary is appearing before the Supreme Court to give some explanation. Am I clear? That is the reason why, if anybody has any doubt whether government agencies will be penalized, answer is yes. And I have put forward one live example before you. What is the amount? 50,000 rupees the amount. And which is the ministry? Environment Ministry is the concerned authority which has paid the money. Now, look at this. Which of the following year is a target year? Housing for all, right? Answer is what? 2022. Please remember this. Option D is the answer. Look at this. The building and construction sector was brought under Environment Impact Assessment. It happened in the year 2004, right? So this is called Environment Impact Assessment, EIS. Construction activities were generating waste and dust. Yes, obviously. On December 9th, 2016, Environment Ministry exempted the building and construction sector from the requirements of the environment clearance en masse. Right? They have been, excluded. They have been exempted from taking the permissions, right? So they can go on their activities. Of course, government is planning for large-scale constructions, maybe the housing for all, maybe a construction of the roads and other highways. Obviously, taking the permissions will become a hamper in their direction. So probably that is one of the reasons why it has been exempted. The Supreme Court to find the Environment Ministry rupees 50,000 for not complying with its directions to notify the revised rules to protect the wetlands. Look at this. Doordarshan was established the year. Right? So hopefully you all know Doordarshan, right? We all know, yes, very much. So now the question is that when it was established. But why I have taken this question now? This is because you know the logo of Doordarshan. Right, so you know the logo, and below that you can see Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Right? Now Doordarshan has decided to change the logo. Doordarshan has decided to change the logo, and it has requested the people to send the suitable logos. Doordarshan felt that since this is a very old logo and it wanted to change the logo now. And it invited the suggestions from the people, and anybody can send the suggestion to Doordarshan, right? So because of that reason, so I have taken up this, and the answer is 1959. Please remember this. And I will also show you the logo. So Doordarshan was established in the year 1959, right? Option D is the answer. September 15th, 1959. Right, so this is the logo of Doordarshan. Very nice, right? Yeah. So my dear friends, for your information, from September 4th onwards, we are going to start Group 1 and Group 2 batch for APPSC, Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission. And for that one, the details will be given to you by August 1st. So registrations will also be open from August 1st. and this is the course that is related to Group 1 and Group 2 services of Andhra Pradesh, right? And apart from this, I would like to say one more thing also. We are launching another batch for civil services for IAS 2018 on October 1st. And for that one, from September 1st onwards, the admissions will begin. And for all the details, you can have our you can have a look at our respective websites. All right. And if you have any query, and you may just give me the mail. Right. So all the details with respect to Group 1 of APPSC, I'll be giving you on August 1st. And with respect to IAS 2018 new batch, I am going to give you all the details on September 1st. Right. If you are interested, right, send me the mail, and anyways, I'll be giving you the complete details by the dates that have been announced. Fine. So thank you so much for being with me this morning, and I wish you all a very good luck and see you tomorrow. Thank you.